something very weird happened with Grubhub, and I'd like to tell you this story about how Grubhub screwed me, and how apparently they screwed the customer who was waiting for food. Canyon, 20-minute trip to pick someone up for a 30-minute trip. That suggests that the person is headed towards the airport. You're never alone. In any case, a 20-minute drive to pick up somebody is a long way, but a 30-minute trip in return is not a bad return. So I am making the trip, and I'm headed to Canyon, Texas, about 20 minutes south of Amarillo. While I'm on my way, I like to say that these days, mostly in the morning hours, I'm driving for Uber and Lyft, and in the evening hours, say from 5 o'clock in the afternoon till 8 o'clock in the evening, my wife enjoys coming along with me, and so she and I do food delivery with Grubhub, and I have Grubhub blocks reserved for almost every night in this upcoming week. A Grubhub block is a scheduled 1-hour period that you have to reserve, and they have only a certain number of blocks available for each hour and half hour. And if you can get a scheduled block, then you'll get more offers for food delivery. So I have managed to schedule a bunch of Grubhub blocks in the evening. I prefer to do passengers in the morning and Grubhub blocks in the evening. My wife can't be with me when I pick up passengers because I have to have all 4 seats available for passengers, 1 in the front, 3 in the back. So I can't have a family member with me when I'm doing passengers. I can have a family member or a friend with me when I'm doing food delivery. I don't like to do food delivery in the morning because picking up passengers is physically easier. It's a lazier job, and there is a need for it. So I do that in the first part of the day for a few hours every day. And then I'm earning about, between $70 and $100 in the morning hours driving people around. And then in the evening time, we do food delivery. Last night, we did $62 in Grubhub earnings between 5 p.m. and 8 p.m. That's just over $20 an hour. But the day before that, something very weird happened with Grubhub, and I'd like to tell you this story about how Grubhub screwed me, and how apparently they screwed the customer who was waiting for food. So my wife was with me, and we got an order. It was a $14 order. That means I'm going to earn $14 by picking up food. And the order was to pick up from a restaurant here called Fuddruckers. And so I went to Fuddruckers, and I paid for the order with the Grubhub card as instructed. And I picked up the order, and so on. But let me back up a little bit. We went to Fuddruckers, and when I arrived at Fuddruckers, you tap on the Grubhub app that you have arrived. So when I tapped that, you have arrived, it said, it appears that you are not at the restaurant yet. Proceed to the restaurant and then tap arrived. Now we were at the restaurant when this happened. So there's a place on the app to click, there's a problem. So I click that, and then there's a list of problems that come up on the screen. And one of them is can't mark arrived. So I click that, and the app tells me to proceed with the delivery. And then when the delivery is complete, then contact customer support and let them know the delivery was complete. So that's pretty simple. So then I went into the restaurant and I paid for the food with the Grubhub card. I picked up the food, I put it in an insulated bag, and went to the car. So now it's time to navigate to where the passenger is. Well, they've made some changes in the Grubhub app, and there was no way to find where the customer was. There was just no way the app that would tell me how to navigate to where the customer was, where the person who ordered the food was. So I called customer service, and I explained to them. And while I did that, while I was on the phone with customer service, a message came up on the app, and it said, "It appears that you are not proceeding to the restaurant. You accepted the order, but you're not proceeding to the restaurant. Please proceed to the restaurant." And then there's a little OK that you tap to make that message go away. So I clicked OK. And I'm still talking to the customer service representative. And while I'm talking to him and trying to get him to click on the app for me that I have arrived at the restaurant, all of a sudden it came up on the screen of my phone that the order has been reassigned to another driver and canceled. And then I told that to the customer service representative that was on the phone with it. I have the food. I paid for the food. I have the food in the car, and they've already canceled the order. So he said, and also while I was talking to him, another order to pick up from another restaurant came up on the screen. So if I don't accept that, it will affect my acceptance rate. So of course I'm going to accept it. So I've accepted an order for another restaurant, but I still have the Fuddruckers food in my insulated bag in the back seat of the car. And so I told that to the customer service guy, and I wasn't rude to him or anything, but I think what happened was that he was the one that accidentally screwed up and canceled the order. And I say that I think that's what happened because all of a sudden he hung up on me. When I told him the order's been canceled, he hung up. And then there was nobody on the phone. And I still have this problem that I have another restaurant order, and I still have the food from the poor guy that ordered the food that I paid for with the Grubhub card sitting in the back seat of the car. So I called back Grubhub customer service, and I got a different person. And she said, "Is there any way you can take the food back to the restaurant?" Well, the restaurant wouldn't take the food back because I'd already taken it out of the restaurant, and I'd already paid for it. And so no, there was no way to take the food back. So the lady said, "Well, then just keep the food. Just keep the food and ignore that Fuddruckers order and proceed with your next order." And I said, "Okay." And that we concluded that phone conversation. So now we had a bunch of food in the car. And so my wife and I looked at each other. They told us to keep it, and we have to go make another pickup, another restaurant pickup. So we looked at the food, and it was a really nice cheeseburger. And my wife likes cheeseburgers, and it had a double order of large fries. So my wife had the burger and fries, and I had the other bag of fries, and they were really good fries. So my wife said the burger was really good as well. So that's how Grubhub screwed up the order, and I don't know what happened to that passenger. I had actually texted the passenger that I have your food in the car, and when I first came out of the restaurant, I texted the customer and I said, I have your food. I just picked up your food from Fuddruckers, and now I'm on my way to your location. And that's when I discovered that I couldn't go to the location because the app wouldn't tell me where the location was. And the passenger never responded to the message, and that's why I couldn't proceed to the destination. And even if I had, the Grubhub app was complaining that I hadn't arrived at the restaurant yet. According to their GPS, I was not at the restaurant for some reason. I don't know. I mean, I navigated to there, but the app was saying I had not arrived yet. And then it was saying that I should proceed to the restaurant because I've accepted the order or it will be reassigned. And then it was reassigned. So there's nothing I could do. So sometimes you get some free food out of the deal. And we did nothing dishonest or anything. I just don't know what to say about that. I think Grubhub really, I don't know who paid for that food. I mean, the food was paid for with a Grubhub debit card or credit card, whatever that thing is. And so the restaurant got their money. And I suppose if they reassign the order, another driver is going to show up and say, okay, I'm here to pick up the food for this order. The restaurant's going to tell them that another driver came here and picked it up already and paid for it. So then that driver is going to tell Grubhub that this food's already been picked up. So who knows where that went? I don't know. But I do know that poor customer probably paid money and never received any food. So I'm now on the highway, on the way to Canyon, with another 9 minutes to pick up this person. So I thought I'd share you that story. I don't have my microphone set up for good reception, so I'm just using the built-in microphones in my camera. So I hope you were able to hear this story well enough. And I wanted to share my, I'm a gig worker. When I say a gig worker, it doesn't mean that I'm just driving for Uber or Lyft. That's not just what I do. I actually have 5 sources of income, and those are the Employment Retirement System of Texas, ERS. That's my pension plan for having worked for the state of Texas for 17 years. Then I get some Social Security because I'm 68 years old. And I also get income from Uber and Lyft, so that's 4 for driving around passengers. And sometimes we also do Uber Eats, which is food delivery for Uber, but that income comes from Uber, so it's the same source. And then also I do Grubhub. Now, some people ask me, why don't I do DoorDash? Well, I did do DoorDash. Last year I was doing DoorDash as well. But overall, we found that Grubhub, at least in Amarillo, Texas, was earning far more money than DoorDash was per pickup. I was earning more money with Grubhub than I was earning with DoorDash. DoorDash was a lot of running around for small amounts of money for each order. And Grubhub is larger amounts of money, and they keep me busy too. So anyway, I dropped DoorDash, and we don't do that anymore. We're just doing Grubhub, mostly in the evening times, and in the wintertime, I just do passengers. It does snow in Amarillo. Most people don't realize that it can snow in Texas, but we're in the Texas Panhandle, the northernmost part of Texas, and we're at 3,700 feet above sea level and fairly close to the Rocky Mountains. So here it snows in the wintertime. During the winter months, my wife isn't usually so looking forward to going out with me, and so she stays home. And when she stays at home, I just do passengers. Those are my 5 sources of income. All right, so that's it for now. I'm just entering into the city of Canyon, Texas, the northern reaches of Canyon, and I'm going to pick up a passenger and take them for a 30-minute ride. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing, and see you in the next video.